So thanks so much for having me here today. I'm here to talk about 4 and 5G wireless health dangers and removing it from our schools. Science and medicine are warning that wireless radiation causes damage to DNA, cancer, infertility, autism, ADHD, and behavioral problems. The scientific debate is over. The 4G levels to which we are currently exposed are adversely affecting human health. Next generation 5G will exponentially increase these fields, and none of that tech, including the gadgets, were ever independently tested for harm to biological life before being allowed to blanket our communities. But industry in its position has used its influence on national committees to provide endless discussion of the science, which apparently led to no conclusion. But now, with the statements of International Agency for Research on Cancer, with a succession of animal studies by Chu in '92, by Ripaccioli in '97, and by the NTP recently, confirmed by Ramazzini in Italy, there is scientific evidence that is so strong that you can be certain that Health Canada standards are wrong. The 2016 10-year, $30 million study conducted by the National Institute of Health was supposed to demonstrate that there were no effects of radiation below thermal, and in fact, it demonstrated exactly the opposite. And it follows on the heels of 2 major animal studies that said exactly the same thing. They repeatedly found evidence of cancer. Health Canada's Safety Code 6 has not been updated in over 40 years. It still only considers thermal effects, a cell phone's ability to heat the brain of a huge mannequin. What about babies, children, pregnant women? Where are the accommodation for those with electrosensitivity sickness? It's not enough to routinely meet concerns with emissions are well within Health Canada guidelines. These guidelines indicate acceptable radiation levels, which are orders of magnitude above what has been demonstrated as safe when non-thermal effects are considered. Health Canada's Code 6 is not protective and hundreds of times less stringent than other nations. Hardwired fiber optic cable is safer, faster, and more secure and would avoid wirelessly radiating millions of unsuspecting citizens. The writing is on the wall. Please pause the 5G rollout. Would you truthfully want to live next to a cell tower given the choice? Cell towers placed too close to people violate our human right to protect our health. They violate our right not to be experimented upon. I certainly do not consent to a military-grade small cell facility on the light post outside my front door. Beaming military carrier waves into homes constitutes trespassing, and if it makes me uncomfortable because science has proven it causes harm, that's called assault. Can Peel be sued for protecting me and refusing an inappropriate antenna placement? Who has the final authority? This is the most important function of our government. Since Wi-Fi causes cancer, it does not belong in our schools. Kids absorb 75% more radiation. There are laws banning it in Australia, India, Spain, Switzerland, Italy, Austria, Germany, Israel, Cyprus, and Finland. Please regulate tighter restrictions. You did it for peanut allergies. To not respect developments in science, warnings of top scientific experts would seem crazy. Would you have your child ingest something that hundreds of peer-reviewed studies say is harmful? Just last week, I had this conversation with a not-for-profit preschool, and this week, the school was hardwired, and those children are now safer for it. The reality is that this is the greatest environmental and safety threat of our time. The public is getting sick, and the government isn't up to date with the science. This is when we need our representatives to represent. Please don't tell me it's not within your jurisdiction. This is not on the news because telecoms own the media, but they warn their shareholders about future financial risks from EMF because no one will insure them. Where's my warning when I buy their products? I need a magnifying glass to read the manufacturer's insert that says don't put the thing to your head. You see, if they keep the scientific argument about safety going, the apparent lack of certainty helps reassure customers that their phone addiction is hopefully harmless. Hold wireless companies accountable for keeping their tech safe. Refuse industry-funded evidence and eliminate individuals with strong financial ties to industry from governing committees. There's way too much money in politics. The 2 takeaways are our kids need to learn about technology from safely hardwired devices, not wireless. And with respect to 4 and 5G, appropriate testing must happen before it's allowed to roll out.